I was supposed to be alone, but someone or something was with me. And by the time I realized, it was already too late. I had moved to this quiet little town a few months ago, looking for peace. No traffic, no noise, just the serene emptiness of being in the middle of nowhere. I figured it would be a fresh start after a difficult year. The house I rented was small but cozy, sitting on the outskirts of town, surrounded by thick woods on all sides. Perfect for a lonely soul like me. It started on a Thursday night, around 11 p.m., I remember. I had just finished dinner, settled into my recliner, and was scrolling through my phone, getting ready to call it a night. The wind howled outside, the only noise in the house. It felt calm, peaceful. That is, until I heard it. A tap, soft but unmistakable, coming from the window. My heart skipped. I wasn't expecting anyone, and I hadn't heard any cars drive by, but the tap, it was there. I froze, staring at the curtains. Maybe it was just the wind, or a branch brushing against the window? I told myself it was nothing, but then another tap. Tap, tap. My breath hitched. Slowly, I stood up and walked over to the window, my feet dragging, each step heavy with fear. I didn't want to look, but I had to. I pulled back the curtains, heart pounding in my chest. Nothing. The yard was empty, dark, quiet. The air inside was thick and stale, and the faint smell of mildew clung to the walls like a heavy blanket. We crept through the broken doors and into the lobby. My flashlight flickered, casting long shadows over the cracked tiles and peeling wallpaper. It was eerily quiet, and the silence felt suffocating. The only sounds were our footsteps and the occasional drip of water somewhere deep inside the hospital. We made our way down a dark corridor, the floors groaning under our weight as we moved deeper. The further we went, the more I felt like something was wrong, like the walls were closing in on us. Water somewhere deep inside the hospital. I see you in the dark. I dropped the phone. My heart was in my throat, choking me. I wasn't alone. Someone was here. The house was still too still. Every creak of the floorboards seemed amplified. Every shadow seemed darker. My breathing was shallow, panic setting in as I rushed to the front door and checked the locks. They were fine, but something felt off. Something felt wrong. Then the next sound came, a slow creak from the attic. I froze. I had never gone up into the attic. The thought of going up there in the dark made my stomach turn. But I had to check. I had to know if someone was hiding up there. I grabbed a flashlight, heart hammering, and made my way to the stairs. Every step felt like an eternity, the air growing colder the higher I went. I reached the door to the attic and slowly turned the handle. The door didn't budge. I tried again. Nothing. Panic surged through me. The door wasn't locked when I moved in. Why wouldn't it open now? And then the message came again. I'm right behind you. I spun around, my breath catching in my throat. The flashlight flickered, just for a second, and I saw it. A figure standing at the bottom of the stairs, the outline of a man, his face hidden in shadows, staring at me. I couldn't move, couldn't scream. I just stood there, frozen in place. The figure didn't move, didn't speak. It was like he was waiting for me to make the next move, and I didn't know what to do. Suddenly, the door to the attic burst open with a loud crack. Something, or someone, scrambled out, and the figure in front of me vanished. I ran down the stairs, bolting the front door behind me. I didn't look back. I called the police. They didn't find anyone. They never do. But since that night, every time I close my eyes, I can hear footsteps in the attic. And every time I check the door, it's open just a little. I don't know who or what was in my house that night, but I do know one thing. I'm not alone. If you want to hear more terrifying stories like this, check out my next video. Trust me, you'll want to know what happens next. But don't say I didn't warn you.